Good evening, friends. Today, we are going to discuss in our Global Corporate Law webinar series under Singapore Companies Act about Division 4, Part 7 regarding the title and transfers under Singapore Companies Act, in which we are going to study simple provisions procedurally and academically to understand and to implement. But the compliance is crucial because this mobile property, the share or the debenture or any interest in the company, when the right title and interest in the company is acquired by an investor, this certificate provides the conclusive evidence that he is the holder of that particular instrument, which is an equivalent asset for him. And hence, it assumes significance both from the investor's side and from the company's perspective. Thanks to Aishwarya for this detailed presentation. Legends in presentation. Agenda will be to understand the nature of shares and where the number of shares shall be distinguished and where it is not required. And what will happen if there is a loss of share certificate? How will you take a remedy to apply for a duplicate share certificate? What is the procedural aspect for a private or a public company? Transfer of shares in the case of private company, public company, and certificate of title, which will be the prima facie evidence, and what is the duty of the company with regard to such issuance, and what is the default offense and penalty involved where there is any default by the company in issuance of these share certificates. First, let's get into the nature of shares. The shares of any member shall be mobile property. Of course, share is a mobile property and hence your land, apartment buildings, all are outside this particular purview. It has to be transferable and shall not be in the nature of immobile property. So the nature of share is a mobile property component. Numbering of shares shall be having a distinguished number, and where this distinguishment is not required in the case of shares which are fully paid up and ranked equally for all purposes, which means pari passu right given, and there is no distinct entitlement with regard to your voting or dividend entitlement. So those shares need not have distinguishing number is the exception provided where you have only one class of shares. So it says the shares of the same class for the time being issued and fully paid up. So if a company has class A, class B, class C shares, class A has both voting and dividend, class B has only dividend right, class C has only voting rights, then it shall be certainly distinguished in an appropriate manner and the exception will not come into purview. If all the issued shares are evidenced by a certificate and your certificate has a distinguished number in an appropriate manner and which is certainly reflected in your statutory register of members as well, then exception 2 applies where again this distinguished number is not required. Certificate which attributes to the evidence of title. The prima facie evidence of title of a member is the share certificate or a debenture certificate. This certificate shall be under the common seal of the company. Where it is a branch register, it shall be under the official seal. What is a branch register, friends? If you read section 196 of the Companies Act, every public company which is incorporated under this law, which is your Singapore Companies Act, they have this particular option to have the branch register in a branch which is situated outside Singapore, where you are maintaining a simultaneous register over and above your register of members for the branch situated outside India. Of course, there are a lot of attributes to it as enumerated in your section 196. Of course, in that case, you will have common seal, which is only one, which will be there in the registered office of the company situated in Singapore, and hence to give provision and accommodation for the branch register, they are providing this option of maintaining an official seal. And this certificate shall comprise the name of the company, authority under which the company is constituted. If it is constituted under Companies Act, you will provide the authority under which it is registered office address, and if the certificate is issued by branch office, then the address of the branch office, Where it is fully or partly paid up, you will provide the class of shares and the payment details. And if they are unpaid, you will provide the amount which is unpaid on these shares. And the immunity privilege available to the shareholders is just because the share certificate does not contain these components. A company cannot opt for an escapism route, and failure to comply with this section shall not affect the rights of the holders of the shares. Very important. And if there is a default in complying with this provision, the officers and the company shall be guilty of offence. Company may have duplicate common seal. It could have a duplicate common seal with an embossing seal affixed on the face of the particular share seal, addition of the word share seal, making it distinguished from the common seal of the company. And where such duplicate seal is under the authority of the company, it shall be deemed to be done with the common seal of the company. So it has equivalent effect. Loss or destruction of share certificate. What happens if I lose my share certificate? Can I go and ask the company to issue a duplicate share certificate? Answer is yes, provided you comply with the statutory provisions and the procedures prescribed thereunder. The owner can make a request to the company for issuance of duplicate share certificate on payment of a very nominal fee of Singapore dollar 2. And the application shall also provide for a statutory declaration that the certificate has been lost or destroyed. And if lost, proper searches have been made. Necessary submission is made to the police authorities that the certificate is lost. So all those proofs have to be submitted to the company. And also an undertaking to be given by the investor stating that if the untraceable share certificate is found, they will certainly lodge it with the company. However, there is exception to this as provided in subsection 2. If the value is over and above 500 Singapore dollars, the directors, before accepting an application, may also require this particular applicant to cause an advertisement to be published in a newspaper, because the value is huge and they have to certainly take a cautious approach to ensure that this particular certificate, the person who is claiming that the certificate is lost, is having a clear title to the property and there is no other second person who is going to again claim for the same share certificate. And hence, a public notice shall be given, and after the expiry of 14 days, after this advertisement is published, he makes this application for issuance of duplicate share certificate. Not only that, an indemnity bond which is equivalent to the market value of that particular share shall also be provided to the company, claiming that in the event of that particular share certificate being found, or if there is going to be any loss by virtue of the company issuing this duplicate share certificate, prima facie believing that this particular share certificate, the original share certificate is lost, and if there is going to be any loss in the event of this particular person claiming the duplicate share certificate, the loss will be indemnified this by the person who is claiming this duplicate share certificate. In certain cases, the company may require the applicant to do both A and B, which is public notice and also indemnity. It shall not apply to documents evidencing title in relation to listed securities. So this particular provision will not apply in the case of listed companies which have deposited their shares with the depositor. In the event of any duplicate share certificate which is issued on or after 30th Jan 2006, shall state the amount paid and the amount unpaid on these shares. So after this amendment, the company shall clearly give a split on the amount which is paid and unpaid. And for this section, in relation to book entry security, reference to the owner shall be reference to the depository. What is a book entry security, friends? It is those securities which are listed at the Singapore Exchange, STX, and also those shares are admitted with the central depository. Not only that, the book entry is equivalent to your certificate. While there is an instrument which is lodged for transfer, you will pass the necessary entry by virtue of that particular instrument which is deposited. But in the case of listed entity, it will be merely a book entry there will not be any certificate because they are like dematerialized shares, and hence a book entry will give effect to the transfer. Private companies transfer related provisions. 126. For giving effect to the transfer, proper instrument shall be lodged with the company. Any power to lodge a notice will not apply in the case of transmission. So this particular instrument, any power to lodge the notice of transfer in respect of a person to whom the right of transfer is already effected by operation of law is by means of debt, then it will be transmitted to the legal heir or the representative by production of the necessary document. So this proper instrument will not apply in the case of transmission. The company shall intimate registrar in the form prescribed. And updation after this Companies Amendment Act 2014, which was given effect on 3rd January 2016, this transfer will not have effect unless and until it is updated in the electronic register of members. Next comes your transfer of debentures. Again, the same provisions will apply where it shall be lodged with the company by virtue of an instrument, and this will not apply in the case of transmission by operation of law. 128 talks about register of transfer at the request of the transferor. Where there is a request received by the private company from the transferor, it shall lodge with the registrar again, similar to your 126 in the prescribed form about the notice of transfer of shares. And in the case of debenture or any other interest, right, title or interest over and above your shares, it shall enter in the register the name of the transferee and subject to the conditions as if the application for the entry were made by the transferee, because the request has not come from the transferee, it is from the transferor. No intimation to registrar in the case of debenture or any other interest. Whereas in the case of shares, you may have to make disclosure to the registrar. On such request received from the transferor, the company shall by notice in writing require the person having possession or control to deliver or produce to the company within a stated period of not less than 7 days and not exceeding 28 days to have this particular share certificate either cancelled or rectified upon receipt of request from the transferor. And the transfer registered in the case of transfer of debentures, as the case may be. If any person after receiving this particular request does not oblige to that, the transferor may apply to the judge to issue summons thereon to appear before the court and to show cause as to why the documents which were sought were not produced by this particular person. And if the person appears before the court, then he shall be examined upon oath, and all the legal proceedings will be given effect to. And if he does not appear, the company may receive evidence in his absence. In either case, the court may order this particular person to whom the notice is delivered to deliver those documents as the court may deem fit, and the cost of summon and proceeding shall be as determined by the court. List of share certificates which were asked to be produced under this section but were not delivered or produced shall be exhibited in the office of the company in a prominent place and also advertised in a newspaper. Notice of refusal to register. Whether a company has the prerogative right to refuse the register of transfer of shares, yes, but there is a timeline ascribed to it. Time limit is within 30 days after the instrument is lodged. They have the right to refuse, provided they have to say in a notice the facts which were considered necessary to refuse this particular transfer of shares. If the company is not providing this notice within the timeline as provided in the section, then the company has no right to refuse the transfer of shares. So this is very clear. If the company and every officer is going to not obey to this particular provision, then they shall be guilty of offence and punishable with conviction to a fine of not less than 1,000 Singapore dollars and also for a further penalty, default penalty. Provision for public companies almost the same as provided in private company, but there are some subtle differences we are going to see. Section 130. Again, instrument of transfer shall be lodged similar to a private company. This by operation of law, this does not apply to transmission of shares. And again, the company shall intimate the registrar about the notice of transfer. What is not applicable if you compare it with private company, that electronic register of members, until it is updated, the transfer will not be given effect to, will not be applying in the case of public company. And over and above that, the notice which is lodged with the registrar shall contain these two particulars as stated in section 130 very clearly, over and above the stipulation which is mandatory for a private company. What are they? Top 50 shareholders of the company shall be provided, and the transfers which were effected subsequent to the transfer which was notified to the registrar previously shall also be provided. Registration of transfer at the request of transferor by public company 130 AA. Upon receipt of request in writing by the transferor, the company shall make necessary entry in the register about the name of the transferee and such other conditions as may be attached to it. On the request in writing of this particular transferor, again the company shall by notice in writing, very similar to your private company provisions, seek those documents to be produced before it for making necessary entries with regard to cancellation or rectification as may be applicable in the required case. If any person fails to do so, then the company has every right to make him appear before the court, and the court will examine upon oath this particular person, and if he does not deliver or appear in person, the company may receive those documents in evidence, and the court may order him to deliver all those documents. And if after this examination on oath and after this particular specific request made upon production of documents, if certain documents are not provided, the list of those share certificates or debenture certificates shall be exhibited in the office, and it shall also be advertised in newspaper, very similar to your private company provision. Notice of refusal to register the transfer by public company, the same timeline and the same right for refusal shall be applicable only in the event of this particular company providing a specific notice in writing, and the notice in writing shall be made to the parties, both the parties, the transferor and transferee, after this particular notice of refusal is provided with the fact of this particular reason for rejection. And if the company is not going to obey for this particular provision, then the same default penalty and the same conviction with a fine of 1,000 Singapore dollar as applicable to a private company will squarely apply for a private company. Public will apply to private company. Transfer by personal representative 130 AC. Here it gives effect to your transmission of shares. A transfer of a share made by a personal representative will be certainly valid if it is not done by a member, a deceased member, and even if there is no provision in your charter documents with regard to probate of will or LOA, letter of administration, when these documents are produced as evidence by operation of law for transmission of shares, they shall be given effect to. Instrument of transfer includes a written application for transmission of shares to a personal representative. AD talks about your clear certification of prima facie title. The certification by a company of any instrument of transfer, be it of your shares, debenture or interest, shall be taken as a representation by the company to any person that they have been produced to the company, that the documents which were sought for giving effect to the transfer have been produced to the company, and those documents show a prima facie title to the shares, debentures or interest as the case may be, but not as a representation that the transferor has title to those instruments. If any person acts on the false representation made by the company, which is negligently made by the company will have equal liability as it has when this particular certificate is issued in a fraudulent manner. So even if it is done negligently, it will be as is liability as applicable when it is done in a fraudulent manner. the certification is by a private company, the limitation period is 42 days or such extended period as the case may be. In respect of transfer of shares after the expiration of the period so limited or the extension so granted, the instrument has not been done within that timeline, that is the limitation period will apply. If that particular transfer instrument is not sent or received by the company within that time, then the certification of title cannot be claimed as a defense by the parties. Hence, to give effect to this particular certification of title, they should have lodged the instrument within the time as provided in the statute. The same provision applies for a public company also. The same 42 days. If any certification is expressed to be limited to the period of 42 days or such extended time as prescribed, the company and officers shall not be merely held liable in the absence of fraud. So fraud is again and out of this particular purview. So in respect of registration, if the instrument is not lodged within the limitation period, then the company cannot be held liable. The certification of an instrument is to be treated as made by the company. The person is authorized by the company. By virtue of a board resolution, if the company says that X, Y, Z are authorized to issue this particular certificate of instrument of transfer, then they are empowered to do so. And if it is done by any other person who is apparently authorized, he could be the secretary of the company or CEO or the directors, who even without a board resolution, they are empowered to provide this particular certificate by virtue of their official capacity. The certification that purports to be authenticated by these persons under their signature or initials shall be certainly deemed to be signed by them, unless it is proved that the signature or initial is not attributable to the persons who are apparently authorized to issue this particular instrument. 130 AE. We will conclude with 130 AE. Duties of the company with regard to issue of certificates and default in issue of share certificates. There is a timeline for the company to issue the share certificates. When it is allotment, within 60 days. When it is transfer, it is 30 days. Public private company, the same timeline will hold good. For a private company, additionally, where under 126 or 128, within 30 days after the date on which the notice of transfer is lodged with the registrar. In other cases, it is 30 days after the date on which the transfer is lodged with the company. But in the case of 126.2 or 128.1a, which we discussed earlier, it will be 30 days from the date on which the notice is lodged with the registrar, within which the company shall ensure that the share certificate or debenture certificate or the interest certificate is delivered to the actual owner or the beneficial owner. If failing to do so, the company will be guilty of offence and they shall be liable for a penalty which shall be 1,000 Singapore dollars and also a default penalty. And any company on which the notice has been served requiring the company to make good a default shall within 10 days after hearing this particular notice make good that particular default. Failing to do so, the court may order that all costs shall be indemnified, including the application cost, as may be borne by any person who is the agreed party in the instant case. So with this, we are concluding the title and transfers under Singapore Companies Act. Fairly simple provision to understand and implement, friends. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay safe.